In this podcast, we're going to talk about how to not only name aldehydes, but how to draw structures if you're given the name of an aldehyde. Keep in mind, aldehydes are a carbonyl attached to an R group, and this R group could be any length long, it could be a cyclic, but we're looking for that carbonyl at the end of a chain or at the coming off of a cycle. All right, so we have an aldehyde. We have that carbonyl group on the end of a carbon chain, so this would be considered our R group. The first thing we want to do is identify the chain length because we're going to use that to name the aldehyde. So we have two carbons. This would be ethane, and so we take that ANE ending and we change it to AL. So ethane becomes ethanal, and then we're going to have to worry about this functional group coming off. So this is on an aldehyde, your carbonyl always gets carbon number 1. So on carbon number 2, we have chlorine coming off. So this would be 2-chloroethanol. Okay, so keep in mind that this is the IUPAC way to name this, but we can also name under 4 carbons for a common name. So 2 carbons in our common naming system would be acetaldehyde, and again we're going to deal with that coming off of the second carbon, so it's 2-chloroacetaldehyde. All right, here we're given the name 2-methylcyclobutanol, so we are going to be drawing the structure. You'll want to start with the parent. So we have a cyclobutanol, which means we have a cyclic, and it is 4 carbons long with an aldehyde coming off of it. So drawing the skeletal structure for cyclobutane, I'm going to add to that my aldehyde coming off of any position. No matter what, this is going to get carbon number 1. So that takes care of cyclobutanol. Now I need to add my 2-methyl group. So I can either count in any direction. I can count in this direction or I can count in that direction. It doesn't matter. Off of the second carbon, I'm going to put my methyl group. So this is 2-methylcyclobutanol. Okay, benzaldehyde tells us one thing. We have a benzene ring with an aldehyde coming off of it. So benzaldehyde is one of those names you're just going to have to memorize. It is the IUPAC and the common at the same time. All right, first thing we want to do is identify our functional groups and figure out what our parent chain is. So right here I see we have an aldehyde attached to a cyclic, and that is cyclohexane. And remember that we take our ANE ending and we change it to AL. So this parent chain becomes cyclohexanal, and now I need to deal with my functional groups. So I have 2 methyl groups coming off of the chain as well. I always give my aldehyde carbon number 1, and I'm going to count both ways just to double check that I'm giving those functional groups the lowest carbons possible. So it looks like if I count counterclockwise, then I'm going to give those methyl groups lower carbons than if I count clockwise. So I'm going to go with that numbering system. So I have methyls coming off of the 3rd position and the 4th position. So that would be 3,4-dimethyl cyclohexanol.